I do want to start with the Sunday Night Football game, since it was a matchup between the two teams that I predicted prior to the season would be playing in Super Bowl 60. And I will say this, if the game that we saw on Sunday night showed up on Super Sunday, I think we'll be on the edge of our seats a little bit. Maybe we'd prefer something a little tighter, maybe something a little cleaner after the game. Maybe Bad Bunny will have to stick around to break up the parties afterwards, separate them all. But I thought it was an entertaining football game. And in terms of the defending American Football Conference champion Kansas City Chiefs, the team that has played in the Super Bowl for 3 straight years and hoping to play in the Super Bowl for a 4th straight year. The only other team, as we know, that did that was the Buffalo Bills back in the day. I proffer to say the team that we saw last night is the type of team that can play in the Super Bowl once again. And I know I did say that they had turned a corner as they headed into Jacksonville, Florida, and then made a ton of mistakes on the road on Monday Night Football. But they did come back on a short week on a Sunday night at home against a team that had won 4 in a row in the Detroit Lions and was playing the best football in the National Football League. And they fell behind early at 10-6 after Harrison Butker missed one wide left. And they came back, and what they needed to do is exactly what happened, which is, number one, make the other team's mistakes their moment of springboarding themselves into success, taking advantage of your mistakes and hitting you over the head with it. That's the type of team we did not see in the first 2 weeks of the season and falling 0-2. As a matter of fact, the point I was making after the Eagles came into Arrowhead in week 2 and beat the Chiefs was the Eagles were now that team to take advantage of mistakes that, say, the Chiefs were making and beat them over the head with it, like, say, Mahomes and Kelsey not hooking up on that pass to the goal line, and it turned into a darn near pick 6 for the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the game, springboarded them to success off of that mistake. Last night, Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes were connecting to the tune of 7 targets, 6 catches, 78 yards. Best game of the year for Travis Kelsey. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is now looking like the team that we're used to seeing. As a matter of fact, the 3-game total that they have had, week 4 against Baltimore, week 5 against Jacksonville, and Sunday night, 95 points the Chiefs have now scored over the last 3 games. That's the most in the 3-game span within a season since the final 3 weeks of the 2021 campaign, when they scored 95 points on the way to making the playoffs and hosting an AFC Championship game that they did lose to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs committed 0 penalties in a game for the first time this year. No mistakes there. So we know they've committed 13 penalties 6 nights before in Jacksonville. Patrick Mahomes, his 2nd game of the season, accounting for 4 offensive touchdowns. He also had 4 against the Baltimore Ravens in week number 4. He had only 1 such game with 4 offensive touchdowns in a single contest in the 2 previous seasons combined. So we're seeing what we're supposed to be seeing, and in terms of taking advantage of mistakes that you're making and beat you over the head with it. The Detroit Lions in this contest had a 10-6 lead, had the ball on the Kansas City 44 with 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go. It's a 4th and 2. You knew Dan Campbell was going to go for it, and he did. Jared Goff was rushed by Steve Spagnuolo's marauding pass rushers. We knew that was going to happen. Jared Goff made a nice, accurate throw, which he usually does, to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And somehow, some way, the sun god dropped the football. Hit him right in the hands. Tough catch, tough play. But the Detroit Lions gave the ball back to Kansas City on downs. And what did Kansas City do? They scored a touchdown right before halftime. Got the ball to start the second half because the Lions won the toss, took the ball, could not score a touchdown on their first drive, even though Jared Goff got it in the end zone on a touchdown reception, only to be taken away by a procedure penalty. The Chiefs got the ball, thanks to the deferring of the football by the Lions. They got it to start the second half, and what do? They scored a touchdown. 2 8-play drives to flip the game. Suddenly, down 10-6, they're up 20-10. And when the Lions scored a touchdown to make it a 1-score game again, what did they do? A 9-play touchdown drive. That's the Kansas City Chiefs team that we're used to seeing, guys. And I thought, I'll turn it over to you for your 2 cents. I thought that was a Super Bowl-worthy team that we saw on Sunday night against the Lions.
Yeah,
What do you
Rich.
think?
Yeah, Rich. I said it on Overreaction too. It felt like a team that we're going to see on Championship Sunday. You know, in the last couple of years, the Chiefs haven't been this high-powered, high-flying offense that we were used to in the early Patrick Mahomes days. They if they scored 3 touchdowns, maybe got to 24 points, that was a good day, and they relied on the defense and the run game, and they just kind of made enough plays to get a win. The last couple of weeks, though, I think you had the stat on the pod, 95 points in the last 3 games. That's what we're talking about. Patrick Mahomes looks like the MVP from his coming out party 2018 season. He's doing everything. Now, look, he's still the leading rusher on the Chiefs, which is obviously not sustainable. But Isaiah Pacheco has looked really good the last couple of weeks where he started the year slow. So that aspect is coming around. Kelsey looks like he's shaking the rust off from obviously a crazy offseason for him. And they look like, the team that's been not only in the Super Bowl, but, hoisting the trophy when it's all said and done. If I'm the rest of the league, I'm kind of scared what Kansas City looks like right now. And, oh, by the way, their best offensive player, skill-wise, Rashee Rice is coming back next week.
That's right. And Hollywood Brown just scored 2 touchdowns, TJ. Right? That helped you in fantasy. I know that.
In multiple fantasy leagues. Listen, man, I don't care what their record is. I've been saying this. As long as number 15 is playing football, the Kansas City Chiefs are always in play, right? And this kind of reminded me of, remember the Olympics against France? Steph Curry was off for a little bit, and then Melo started talking to him from the stands, and Steph hit that 3, and he ran down the court, and he was like, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. That's how I feel about the Chiefs. I'm not worried about them. I know 15 is there. I know Andy Reid's there. I know Jones is there. I know Kelsey's there. I know they can plug and play any number of different wide receivers, Chris, into that offense. A couple backs, Kareem Hunt running people over, looking like Earl Campbell at one point. Pacheco is still a hard runner, and he's going to get into his groove a little bit. I don't know, man. The Chiefs are still a problem.
And Mahomes is out there running the option play for a touchdown, and then Brian Branch, he got into it after the game, but he looked at Brian Branch and kind of
he did the wipe off after
he wiped and flexed, and I'm like, look at him and just laugh at him. He's just toying with everyone like a cat just playing with a mouse.
And that gets it. And you think about it.
You don't want to be
when you played pickup basketball back in the day, when the best player, there's always that guy, right, who was just dominant, right? But then when that guy starts yapping at you too, and it's just like,
what are you gonna do?
You can't do anything, and it makes it even worse. And that's what that was.
Yeah, wiping and flexing. That's that's what you want to see from your quarterback. And just to bring it all full circle, TJ, you mentioned 15 gives the Chiefs a chance to win. Well, number 15 currently leads the National Football League in offensive touchdowns with, wait for it, 15 of them.
Hey.
And it's the most for Mahomes through the team's first 6 games since he had 17 in his 2022 season that he won the most valuable player. So he's going to be in the mix for that conversation. Certainly Baker Mayfield, who we'll talk about later in the second segment of this show, is the front runner in that department. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.